In this episode of Hope in Motion, meet 3 former Asian Aid-sponsored children who are all grown up and giving back to their communities at the Farley Academy of Seventh-day Adventists.
I asked God that if you can make me a speaker, I will work for you and I can become a good speaker for you. That is my ambition in my life.
Because of sponsors, now I am like this and I am working in the Christian institutes.
My name is Vimalapalli Mahalakshmudu. I am from Venkatapuram village and now I am working as a computer teacher in Farley Academy in Rajampalli.
For me, that is one of the best things, is to see the young people who, once they finish their education, actually now working in the schools or the orphanages or in any way involved in giving back to others what they have received from Asian Aid.
India is a land full of contrast. It's a land of great mystery and beauty. It's a land of unspeakable despair. But traveling through India, one thing is for sure. It's a land filled with people who should never be underestimated. For the last 40 years, Asian Aid has invested in the futures of people who have never been given such a chance, and their investment has proven infinite returns. Driven by the vision of Helen Eager, dedicated to helping those who have the least, Asian Aid is an organization implementing diverse development projects and sponsoring thousands of children. Their outreach spans from Bangladesh to Nepal, Sri Lanka, and beyond, from remote villages and empty fields to sprawling centers of education, from nothing to the unimaginable. Now, Asian Aid decided to document the work it has been doing all these years with a desire to show the world what is possible by digging wells in remote villages for clean drinking water and bringing much-needed health care to the women of Nepal, by providing an education for orphans, deaf, and blind children, giving them a sense of place, a home. But what we really discovered was being given was hope, giving hope to children, giving hope to women, giving hope to the ones who need it the most. This is Hope in Motion.
Over the last 40 years, Asian Aid has helped thousands of children receive a formal education, many of whom have gone on in their lives to achieve great things in communities around the world. Some of Asian Aid-sponsored children have grown up and chosen to stay in India and give back to their own communities. The Farley Academy of Seventh-day Adventists is located in Ongole in the state of Andhra Pradesh. It opened its doors in 2009 to children from rural areas around the state and primarily serves the families of local lay workers. Because many of these families have dedicated their lives' work to serving the Lord, they live off a humble salary, and the students here depend on sponsorship through Asian Aid.
I think the exciting thing about Ongole is that we have a number of teachers there who were Asian Aid children. So these teachers started out as young Asian Aid children, then they went to the upper school, then they went to Spicer College, and now we have a group of teachers who were Asian Aid children teaching Asian Aid children. It was exciting to go there and see that happening.
Birbal Bala was born to local farmers, and because of his family's situation and their inability to continue paying for his education, he too was destined to become a farmer himself.
I was 6 years when I was dropped in my school, early school, in my high school. My father left me there. I was too small and I was not knowing about all this help. But I could understand and feel that our home situations are going down and it is very worse conditions. Because of what? Because of my education. My father could not support me. It is unsupportable, and my father also was drinking at that time. And he also started drinking because of my education. He could not pay any fees. And he thought of stopping my education in 4th class and picking me out from that. But still principal requested, because of 500 he could not pay that 500 and about to take me out from that school. So but principal requested, please stay here, there is sponsor. And from 5th class onwards I got my SNED, and I thank them that from then they helped me.
It was a couple from Queensland, Australia, Sylvana and Alan Otto, that chose to sponsor his education. Their sponsorship made all the difference in the life of Birbal.
I'm too grateful. It is, I have that confidence that the God had talked to the sponsors, and they have sponsored me till now, and still my degree, and I have completed very systematically, and I am too happy. And I feel that God is working in my life. And even I too, in return, I like to work for God. And that is my ambitions and nothing else.
Sylvana and Alan were committed to the sponsorship that changed Birbal's life. Little did they know that their contribution would change more than the life of just one boy. Now Birbal is the English teacher at the Farley Academy, where he has taught hundreds of students.
I teach English to the student, and I like to teach them, and I like to improve myself here. And it's God who brought me here and brought me, and He's blessing me day after day, and I can improve myself. I asked God that if you can make me a speaker, I will work for you and I can become a good speaker for you. That is my ambition in my life.
Another teacher at the school, baby Shalini, tells her journey to receiving a college degree.
I was born in Vijayawada, and my father's name is S. Michael and my mother's name is Samrajam, and I had six sisters, including me, 7, and only one brother I had.
Shalini's father, Michael Sattaluri, is a day laborer, meaning without an education he relies on odd jobs he can pick up here and there. Providing for 6 daughters and a son was a difficult task, let alone sending them to school.
I have always done manual labor. I bend rods at construction sites. Even now I'm doing the same. Those days I was paid a lot less. Now I earn about 300 rupees a day. With that, I have managed to take care of my family.
Michael worked hard to give his children a basic education, but eventually the burden was too much and his daughters had to drop out of school.
Actually, I thought of dropping my education. When I'm dropping my education, at that stage, the Asianet brought me up.
Someone stepped forward to sponsor Shalini's schooling through Asian Aid, where she gained the reputation of champion.
In Narsapur, I used to play so many games. I was a champion of the school in ladies, and also in every activity I will be in a first in church activities like sports and also some work. Everything I will be in the first.
What's your favorite sport? What do you used to play? You said you were a champion.
Yes.
What were you champion?
I'll be in a champion in running, and also I can play volleyball. When I came outside when I'm studying in degree college outside also, I selected as an university player.
Having the opportunity to go to school and participate in competitive sports gave Shalini the confidence she could do anything. She went on to complete a bachelor's degree in science, and about a year ago, she came to the Farley Academy as a teacher.
It is very happy to work for these people, because even these small children also are same situation that I came from that.
Coming up next, we take a 10-hour drive to visit the tiny village of Venkatapuram where Lakshman is from. He introduces us to his father and their humble home.
When I was small, my mother died. My father left us and went somewhere. We came to this place and started working in the fields and grazing buffaloes.
Girls, your ride's here. I love you. Have a good day at school. Bye. Bye.
See you tonight. Give my love to Mina.
I will.
You can make a big difference every morning.
Sponsor a child with Asian Aid.
When I first came to India, now around 32 years ago, there were two things that really struck me. The first one was the need for food and clothing and accommodation for children living way below the poverty line. The second thing was the amazing potential that these boys and girls have to make a difference in the world. And the only thing missing was the need for people like you to help. With sponsorship, you can make a difference in the life of a child every day.
My name is Tumalapalli Mahalakshmudu. I am from Venkatapuram village and now I am working as a computer teacher in Farli Academy in Rajampalli.
We begin Lakshman's story long before he was even born. His father, Ranga Rao, was just a little boy himself with an even younger brother to look after. Their mother had died, their father abandoned them, and they wandered the countryside looking for work in the fields.
Only when I went to work, I will get food to eat. I cannot afford to get sick, because if I'm sick and don't go to work, I won't have food to eat that day. My little brother and I struggled so much when we were small. Nobody was there at that time to support us. We were struggling to even get proper food. How can we think about education in that situation? So I never thought about an education. Even if we have the desire to study, who will help us? There was no one to support me.
Growing up with two loving parents meant that Lakshman's life had already vastly improved in comparison to his father's. He went to school and completed his studies up to the 10th grade, but the family's finances were worn out.
After finishing my 10th standard, I came to my village. After that, I don't have any source. I told my father, Dad, I don't know where to go now because I don't know about this Asianet and all. So I told to my father, where I have to join. Then I asked my father when he asked me, so if you go other colleges, what is how much you have to pay the fees? Then when I told him maybe 10,000 rupees you need to pay, then he told me, sorry, I cannot pay that much. You know about our family problems. So I am not working. Even our mother only is working for to eat, so that I cannot pay. Better you can stop your studies and you can work like that is.
During this time, a woman by the name of June Long from Sydney, Australia, had just signed up to sponsor a child through Asian Aid. Meanwhile, Helen Eager found herself in the village of Venkatapuram, where she met Lakshman and his family. With Helen's help and June Long's sponsorship, Lakshman went to an Adventist school in Narsapur.
When I went to Narsapur, I thought Nagar Mummy is sponsoring me. I thought she is my sponsor. But after completing my 12th standard, I went Bangalore. When I went to Bangalore, after 1 month, I got this letter from my sponsor. This is my sponsor. My sponsor's name is Long and June Long. They are from Australia. I heard they have written in their letter.
That was the first letter you got?
Yeah, first letter I got.
June Long and her husband are now in their 90s and still living in Sydney, Australia. How could she know that a letter and her sponsorship would have such an impact?
For me, that is one of the best things, is to see the young people who, once they've finished their education, actually now working in the schools or the orphanages or in any way involved in giving back to others what they have received from Asian Aid. Many times I go to schools and young people will say, do you remember me? I was an Asian Aid student, or I'm an Asian Aid product, sometimes they say. And I guess that's the best thing, is to see those young people. But even some who, like even some of those who've gone abroad, they are now sponsoring children here, and so they are also being a blessing, even if they are not still in India.
It just seems to me that those children that had sponsors just seem to be that wee bit more committed. We have found that Asian Aid children who are teachers and also Asian Aid children who now work for us in the field have an element of dedication. They also have an element of understanding of the needs of the children. Some of our workers have actually been orphans who now work for us or work for the schools. And they just seem to have that little extra passion and understanding for what they do.
And there's a number of them all over India now, working for the church as pastors, working as nurses, working as doctors, scientists, all sorts of things. And so we love to hear these success stories of children who've just gone on in life to give back. They've received as children, and now they're just giving back to other children and to India as a whole. So it makes us proud to hear of these success stories.
The families of the sponsored children express their immense joy that their children are now educated and have the ability to contribute to the lives of so many others.
I'm so happy that he's received his education and now is working as a teacher. I want him to become something great in life. That is my wish.
If children are educated, they can become something in society, get a good job, and be useful for other people. If there are sponsors, they can go on to higher studies and can achieve even greater things in life. Just like my children, I want many more children to be educated and come up in life and be useful and develop a community. They should get a good name in the church. That is my wish.
These three teachers, Birbal, Shalini, and Lakshman, had their lives changed by sponsors who decided to make a difference every day in their lives. Today, who knows how many thousands of children have been impacted by the love each has shown and have now chosen to give back.
Hi, I'm Sean Boonstra, and I'm really excited to be an honorary ambassador for Asian Aid. Today, there are a lot of children in need of individuals who will step forward and provide them with the opportunity to receive an education. Asian Aid sponsors over 8,000 children in Adventist schools in India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. You can not only give them an education, but you can also introduce these children to Jesus. Why don't you join my family in sponsoring a child through Asian Aid and making a huge difference in their lives with sponsorship?